Thank you so much, Mr. Abdullah Njai, for those wonderful insights. Okay, as a matter of fact, now we will move on to the the discussion proper. But I would like to remind the participants that sorry for that. That each participant will be given maximum of 7 minutes. Then after that 7 minutes, you might be muted. So at 6 minutes, I will raise up my hand to indicate that you have only 1 minute to go. Then immediately it is 7 minutes, I will mute you. And as Mjai said, this is just a discussion. Let's try to keep it formal, and we are all, our aim is to get knowledge, to know more about the Gambia, and not to just the other way around. Okay, I would like to call on the first speaker. The first speaker should be the one going for the motion, as he said, it's your topic. Muting. I should emphasize on muting. If I mute you here, Sadio, you'll think you don't know somebody, you said. Okay. Ibrahim, if is Ibrahim around, and are you going for the motion or against?
Why don't I just speak my mind?
Or no, just you are going for the motion or against the motion. You need to be clear here.
Ma,
Now,
Ma, I
this is
suggest
a
they just
discussion.
speak their mind because that was
If
not
you are just
highlighted in the
yeah,
message.
if you just invite a speaker, let this person speak on the like with
Ayo, so you are the Ibrahim. Why not you just Ibrahim Bo it? You just Ibrahim. Okay, your time starts now.
Okay, greetings everyone. Thank you so very much, Ma, for that. And I believe like we are having a very important topic, here. That is
I
like
am sorry for jumping. Ibrahim, please, just 1 minute. Sajo's hand is up. Before we start, I think he has a suggestion or something. Can we hear from him? I'm so sorry. Manima, I'm sorry.
No,
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 it's
no. It's
okay.
okay. Since we are proceeding, I think that is okay from my end.
No, sorry, you can speak up.
I just wanted to second what Ma was saying. That is with regards those proposing to start and like those that are against it to actually discuss later on, because it's kind of a discussion. So at some point it's easier to, like after somebody had spoken, for you to be able to kind of rebut, as debaters would say, than having someone to just start randomly like that. That was my suggestion, but I think it's okay, anyone could start, and let it just be a discussion as we put it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so very much. Like, thank you. Yeah, so moving to the topic straightforward, like as we have on the table right now is that the Gambia need attitudinal change to that of system change. So I believe this is a very, very, very important topic because like as Gambians, it is very good. Like right now, we put a stop, like we stop and look at ourselves because Gambia is becoming 60 years old and we have been moving. Even if Gambia was a child, I can say now he should be having his own family and take care of the family and being able to, feed the family and all those. A lot should be expected from him. But right now, our country is like 60 years old, but it's not going in the right direction. So what is the problem now? Some will say now Gambia need a system change, meaning the way Gambia is run and those things like it's not on the right direction. Others will say no, it is us the Gambians. So for me, that's where I'm coming into play. That is for me, I believe like as Gambians we need what we call attitudinal change. I believe us Gambians, our attitude toward Gambia is not promising at all. Because when we talk about system like is just a like a interconnectivity of like things that come together to form a system. I believe some of us did science, like how things work. You have organisms and those things until you have system where you have the respiratory system or those things. What happens is that a group of things have to come together to do that work. So when we talk about the system here, sorry, I know my science is not good though. Okay, so when we talk about the system here, that system comprises of people, and those people is who but us. So therefore, even no matter how we advocate for system change, bring in policies that this house will be, at the end of the day, if you don't change our behavior, if you don't change our attitude, if you don't change who we are, that system will continue to persist. I mean, that system will continue to be how it was, or even worse than how it was. So therefore, I believe as Gambians right now, what is more needed is for us to try to change our behavior towards our work. Like every day you'll be hearing scandals and things like that. Just this one has, like make like steal, millions of dollars. This one this one this person this. So at the end of the day, like you will sit and say, wow, we trust young people. At the end of the day, young people are the one doing this rubbish. At the end of the day, what happened? Last time I was listening to one man, that is Madi, he make mention of two things. He said like, your character determine who you are. Like it was something like that. Like you can have education and those things, but those achievements are what people think that you are. But at the end of the day, it's your character, and your that character is determined by your attitude. I saw one quote that said that it's your attitude that determine your aptitude. It's your attitude that determine your altitude, not your aptitude. You see that how important attitude is. So as Gambians, I believe if we develop like positive attitude toward the work we are doing, and if you develop positive attitude toward being honest individual, and if you develop positive attitude toward the country, our country can go further. But as far as we are this, like for us, most of us now, let's say the truth, but most of us learning right now, if you ask us like to go back to the country, some of us are not even thinking of going back. Talk less of surfing. Because what they believe is that if they go back, when they are serving, they are not paid enough, they cannot do what they can do. Or at the end of the day, what will happen is that they will say, if I go back, the salary they are paying me is not enough, sometimes my family needs this and that, something like that. But we need to remember something, like every development comes with sacrifice. So as individual or like the young intellectual, for example, most of the people that are sponsored by the government, when they go there, they don't come back. So we are losing human capital. So at the end of the day, do you think that that person who was sponsored by the government to go and develop himself and come back and serve, and he go and stay there, is that person doing justice to our system or to the country? No. So at the end of the day, you end up having people in system that that like they are just concerned about themselves and themselves and their family only. So that's why the Gambia is still not moving. So it's high time as individuals we sacrifice and say that look, it's us that can change this country. Let's get into the system, let's get into the system, give back to our country with love. Not just going there because you want to have something. Because if you are going there because you want to have beautiful mansion and those things, that will lead you to wasting of resources. And today I saw one scandal on what's on Gambia. I don't know whether it's true or not, but we have been having scandal. And these are things that are going on. Like when you are a procurement officer whatsoever, instead if you are asked to go and buy something, you'll go there and then inflate the price. Are you doing this to your country? Are you doing this to yourself? No, you are doing it to the country. Do you know how many people can be affected for that? So at the end of the day, like, it's just crazy. So that's why I believe that as Gambians, we have to go back to the drawing board. Sometimes the blame game, like, we Gambians are very good at it, but we have to look at it again. This one is there. If I was there, how am I going to do it? You'll be worse than that particular person. So if that is the answer now, it's high time now we look at ourselves and say that it's high time we change the way we take things. It's high time now we develop a positive, attitude towards work than, being there just to, enrich ourselves and then at the end of the day, that's it. So that's my submission for now. So let's hear from other speakers too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mbao. Let's get back into the system, give back to the country with love. I love that quote. Mr. Mbao, thank you so much. And a lot, you said a lot, and I think I captured it from that word. And the next, I think we have Ibu Baji.
Yeah, you call me 7 missed call.
Everybody, can you come up?
Acha, you
Oh,
call me 7 missed call. Go with your key
Can you
cam.
come?
Stop leaving your key
Oh,
in
okay.
here.
Thank you.
I'm back.
Everybody,
Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Huh?
Walaikum salam.
Thank
Everybody,
you.
you have a hello. You have a maximum of
I saw 7
7
missed calls. I just
minutes.
saw the 7 missed calls now.
And the moment
Okay,
you
thank
start
you.
saying a word, your time starts. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. So much grateful to be part of this honorable discussion. The topic of talk today is something that is of a great concern to every Gambian, and we should all take it utmost, responsibility to make sure that the ideas that we will discuss here, are taken to heart. So, everyone wants to change the world, but nobody wants to change himself. This is a quote written by Leo Tolstoy, talking about the Gambia needing an attitudinal change or a system change. It's something that is obviously very clear. Myself, like Mo said, we are going to be talking is supporting the same area. You know, systems are built by people. They are made by human beings, are run by people. So to actually try to squeeze a nice or wonderful, excellent system from people who are not to that level, it's like trying to squeeze water from stone. It's never going to happen. So I believe what we need is attitudinal change. The problems we are having in the Gambia are very real. We have so many real problems, but we don't look at the roots of the problem. We have a Gambian problem and not a Gambia problem. The Gambia is very fine. It can give us everything we need to develop as a nation. But what we lack, what we have, is a Gambian problem, and the Gambians don't know they are the problems. That's the only thing. If I'm to speak directly to those leading right now, I'll tell them that the problems we are having is not system or whatever, is the Gambian problem. You solve that problem, and everything is okay. Um, we have all the resources to develop the Gambia, the mental machinery, everything, but people are not just ready. It takes a group of men who are ready to sacrifice, to go out there all day, to give out their best and come home without the media even knowing about it or their pockets being filled. This is the reality. But who are those people who are willing to do that? That's the problem. If you look at the youth, let's say, okay, the old men there should give, a chance to the youth so they can come up. Are the youths ready to take up the responsibility? That is a question that we need to answer. Us, the youth. I'm studying here, okay, I'll say, okay, when I'm done, I need to just marry and then, have my way. If I have a job that pays me well, what else? I'll just go to work, come home, that's all. So that is the problem. We are not willing to take responsibility, and these things we are aiming for. This development that we are yearning for. These are big things that comes with a hefty price. Those things just don't happen like that. Any nation that have developed across the world, they can, if you ask them, they will genuinely tell you those number of men and women who came together, sacrificed everything, and then gave all their best to make sure that they get to where they are right now. And those people will not even be there when they will be enjoying the reward. This will always happen. But in the Gambia, it's a different scenario. Walk across the street, ask the youth, what is the future? Do you think the Gambia future is bright? What do you think needs to be done? People cannot genuinely tell you because they've not actually thought about it. Some people think the Gambia is doomed forever. So what we need is an attitudinal change. We will have to see the Gambia in our dreams, in whatever we do, especially as youths. We need to be ready. Because before you realize you've graduated from becoming a young man to graduate an old man, you're already in service. So you decide to join the rank of those. Just follow the mundane and do nothing. This is what happens. Others will be like when you get there, the system changes you. This is why we need to be ready. It starts now. You cannot just fatten your goat or your pig at the very day of the market. We start working now. When we get there, we will develop the Gambia. But it has to take us, the youth. We need to be ready and know that we are the ones who are going to develop the Gambia. Nobody's going to come from anywhere or angels from the sky to come down and develop the nation. So to myself personally, I'm not going to take long. But what I believe is we have a Gambian problem, not the Gambia problem. To try to change a system, change systems to squeeze, to make sure that people who are there perform excellently is trying to squeeze water from stone. It never happened like that. There is no water in there. It's never going to come out because the system is, designed by those who are not ready to perform or those who've not seen the Gambia, as a priority. So it's never going to happen. Yes, to conclude all this, we need to be ready as youths. It's my genuine advice. Whatever you are doing, wherever you are, whatever you study, it takes a group of men. Whatever engineers, it takes technology guys, it takes ministers. It takes financial guys, managers. We need the management. We can have all the resources, but the most important part of the resources is the human resource. When we lack that in the Gambia, you see all these projects are failing because we lack that mental part of it, that mental, fortitude. People who are willing to look aside the money and then do what needs to be done. That is the problem. So to cut it short, we actually need an attitudinal change, not a system change. Thank you very much for having me. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ibubaji. You cannot fatten the goat on the market day. Wow, that's amazing, right? Those are my head boy and my assistant head boy from Israel. Your words are clear and sensible enough. And moving on, I think we have Modu Lewis. Modu Lewis, are you available? If Modu Lewis is not available, then I suggest Mr. Abdullah Njai.
So, my name,
Yes.
Moderator, Moderator just called me. He said he's having an internship, so he won't be able to attend right now. He may come at the before we round up. He will be available.
Okay, no
Then we can
problem.
have
That's
another person. Then he will come in later, inshallah.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. We can have Mr. Abdullah Njai. Mr. Njai, are you available?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Njai. Your time starts now.
Thank you very much. I will start by saying Martin Luther King says, injustice everywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. meaning I am going surprising mode that I am going against because I definitely don't want to support everyone like the Gambia needs system. I am now going to say Gambia needs system change, not attitudinal change. And I'm ready for the fight. Yes, faulty system encourage a negative behavior. Agreed or not? Structural reforms are necessary to create fairness, transparency, and accountability. Systemic change addresses roots cause likely inadequate and corruption, saps the attitudes, and build the trust and enable the large-scale impact. You get that? So people saying, yes, you need additional change, but again, do you look at the other side, the other side of the coin? You only have attitudinal change. But if the system is definitely telling you to say, okay, it's giving you the room to corrupt, or it's giving you all the means to say, you know what, even if you have a good attitude, the system is not ready to work. For instance, the way you describe system is far beyond that. The system entails everything. For instance, how many Gambia do you have any system working in the Gambia? For instance, like payment system, there's none. Anything is cash flow. You want to pay for government, you have to pay in cash. These are some of the leakages that causes a lot of corruption problem. If there was a system that managed the flow of cash, no one handled cash, my brother, you wouldn't see any problem of this corruption you are skill, this scandal you are seeing. But because the cash is flowing with people's hand managing cash, that is exactly one of the main reasons that is causing this corruption scandal you are hearing day in, day out. That just you quoted just from what's on Gambia, whoever had said it. So having a perfect system that suits you, that can definitely change the system. Like there's another quotation that says faulty system encourage negative behavior. I'm not sure whether you agree with that, but it can't. If you don't have a good system that manage you, it can change your behavior. Like I just said in this quote example that I quote, the flow of currency in the country. There's no means of transfer payment. Just recently that you have even this wave. Before you don't, people don't even trust in online transfers, cash. People just like following the cash. You want to pay for any government institute, it has to be cash. That is even if you have a good behavior. There's some certain amount you hold, bro. You are an accountant or you are studying economics. We'll see in the future what would happen. So what I'm trying to explain here is the system that is definitely very good can definitely change your behavior because you wouldn't have any way to live. Okay, let me give a good example, with what MRC. The same people that are working in the government are the same people working in MRC. It's the same behavior, it's the same attitude, the same everything. Go to MRC, even if you are traveling, they don't give you cash. You go and book your hotel, send details online, and they pay. If you spend anybody, they have to take the receipt back home and they pay you. There is no way you hold cash. You're going for the trip. Let's say I'm not saying even the Gambia. For instance, I'm a government officer. I'm traveling to Europe or traveling to anywhere for official trip. I'm giving cash. I'm paid direct to my account to use my per diems or whatever. In MRC, it's not happen. You never see the cash. You only see receipts and flow of invoices, but you will never see cash from zero to zero. Their system, their system is all hybrid. Everything is in the system now. Sorry, it's all on the server. Even patients are giving unique numbers now. As a patient, you just come and give your number, and you have all details of all your history, your disease or whatever history you have, and the system would show how many diagnoses you've taken, how far you've gone. These are helping. You don't even have to struggle and ask for the patient. Just go through the detail and see everything. So that's what we mean by a system. A system is actually way of controlling not only finance but anything. Anything. For instance, Mopsy, you want to apply for a job. You don't have to go. Yesterday, this guy was saying that if you apply now for PMO, you don't have to go with letters because ladies were complaining that some people would apply and the letters would be packed to the dustbins and they like. It's because there's no, if the system is there, then it's applied online. The manager will exactly see directly. If before the secretary will pack them or throw it, it's directly in the PS or the permanent secretary's desk on his screen that he will see someone has applied for the job. And there the review will start. Not a secretary or whoever will see the letter and say, oh, this guy got masters from India. So if I allow him here, he would become my boss. And just trust the letter. You're sitting down comfortably waiting for appointment while your letter is on the dustbin. A system can change that, Mr. Mo. Now, moving forward, attitude reflects a systemic failure. Attitudes, when you talk about attitude, it definitely reflects system failure because if the system is working, it's working perfectly, you don't talk about attitude because there's no way you can build a system because it's automated, it's already built and placed. No one touch it, no one mess with it because even like there's this we call in IT logs. Even if I am the IT manager managing the system, whenever I make any change, it shows a history that Mr. Njai logged in at this time and made this adjustment. And I have to explain why. So a system definitely can change the Gambia. That's my stand. Another point that I would also want to share with you, Mr. Not Mr. I'm not only debating Mr. Mo, but I'm just trying to quote you because that will make it more interesting. That people believe that okay, there is this issue of corruption, there's this issue of this, like you were quoting all these things. System change drive the attitude itself. Institutions shape the behaviors. The institutions are very, very well. They're very standard. Like they're all like this system can also link to institution. That's what I want to explain for them. The system, the correct system can definitely reflect. If the institutions are well institutionalized and they're working well, it can save your behavior because you come into a system that you don't find anyone anyhow missing behavior. Like for example, the best example is just MRC. You cannot, even if you are as corrupt as what, you will not have any way of doing it because you don't have any option. You don't see it. So this system can actually change you to become good. That's my point for now. I will just rest my case and then hear the rest of the people. Thank you, because I definitely had a lot of things to talk about.
Thank you so much, Mr. Njai. Those points are really, really wonderful. Honestly speaking, the system needs a change. And I was trying to concur with Mr. Those going for the motion, attitudinal change, but it's like now I need to think twice about the issue of system change. And next, and can we have uh, who is next on the list? Mamadou Diallo. Mamadou, Mabe.
Yes, ma'am.
Mabe, welcome. It's your time. You can
Assalamu
speak.
alaikum once again. I think it's like Njai knew I'm a system change person, so he started with system change. Okay. Coming to the topic, I first thank all the previous speakers for your deliberations and your contributions. I think it all will boil back to how to solve the problems at hand in the Gambia. I just want to say that both system and attitude, in some cases, will actually reinforce each other. If we look at attitude, this is just one's behavior, one's perspective, or one's viewpoint. You understand? And there is no way we can have perfect attitude, and there is nowhere we can have perfect attitude anywhere in the world. If it only depends on attitudinal change, then actually we will not have any developed or underdeveloped country, because you cannot tell me the people in the West or any other place have better attitude than us. But what we lack, I think, is not just about the attitude. We need specific people to have the right attitude to prepare a good system that will prevent others from having access to dubious acts. This is actually what we need. And how can we do this? We have to look at our problems. We have many problems, yes. There are problems that are actually based on attitude, like littering. You just go anywhere and you just litter anyhow. You don't believe that the environment is part of you and you should take care of the environment. We have those problems. Even the corruption that we're talking about, some of the social aspect of the country is what promote corruption. If you are a minister, people will think all your family, in fact, all your relatives will be like, lady minister, when your salary cannot help cannot sustain your family and your close ones, how can you sustain others? So it's like we are ourselves, we advocate for corruption. We help people, we celebrate them. If I am appointed today, or if let's say if I have a contract with a white person and I'm not developing, people will tell me, hi, kid dofla, nitki mbam funko taka fola leka. How comes he's not making it? You understand? This opportunity come once. These are the perspectives that we have to change, which I agree very well. They are typical Gambian attitudes or perspective that we have to change. But again, we had a system since Jawara. The same system is tried by Jammeh. It doesn't work. The same system, I'm using name, but not political anyway. I had that. I'm just taking perspective here. With the same system is still now, you understand, being run by others. It's not like these people don't want to develop the country. No, honey, they all want to develop the country. Nobody will lead any country that you don't want to develop. They all want to develop it. But the system and what they believe can correct the problem is actually not solving the problem. We need a total revamp in the system. Even the attitude that we're talking about, It's through awareness, and this should be built somewhere through our education system. We need to bring patriotism in our courses, in our subjects at as low as nursery level. People should understand and believe in ourselves, love the country at heart, at nursery level, not even up to primary school, at nursery level. You understand? This requires a good system. Again, the same education system should have a link between the academics and the industry to make sure that those leaving the academic institution will able to know actually what does the job market in the Gambia require, what aspect are they going to, are they going to serve, and how they are going to serve that. I think these are the systems that we need. It's not just about attitude. If you enter those institutions now with actually you know what you do, you find system that give you no tolerance to corruption. You cannot do anything which is not noticed by others. You understand? As Njai stated, actually, even if you want to be even if you want to be corrupt, or even if you are already corrupt, the system will change you, because knowing fully well that I cannot steal without being noticed. We need also very active social activists, not just politicians masquerading as social activists. We don't want that. People should be new. The social activists. We call them. I forget the term that we call them. These people need to be very, 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 very neutral. They should uncover every problem. But for instance, if Mbo have any issue, because Mbo was my president, I know Mbo, and that one I will not publish it. But if Sadio have an issue, because Sadio we are in different political line or something else, I have to publish it. Even go to their social media walls, go there. One will support A and not support X when both A and X have the same crime. Good. So civil society organization. Thank you, Sadio. So actually, this is what we need. We need a strong civil service organizations in the Gambia to actually hold everybody accountable, irrespective of where you are coming from. You understand? So irrespective of your background or tribe or anything, this is actually what we need. And love our country at heart, have good system in place that will diversify our economy. And at least Jawara's time was purely on agriculture. We used to hear this until now. We believe it. Agriculture is the backbone of the country, which currently is not, but we still believe that. Jammeh came and introduced also the tourism sector and the agriculture were the backbone of the economy. The same thing is happening.
And I'm sorry, what your time is up.
Ma, oh my God. Ma, please, 2 minutes or 1 minute.
No, your time is up. Your time is up. It's a law. When we say a law, we stick to it. Like India.
Ma, make it 2 minutes, ma.
Oh, we are in India. When we say something, we stick to it. No, no, you have 1 minute.
Economic development. What we will actually need right now is to diversify our economy, not just to center it in how to call it, in agriculture and tourism only. Let's try technology, transportation. The Gambia is in a very strategic location. We connect Senegal to other countries. We used to be like very good entry port centers for Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, Mali. So we can still have it if we diversify our economy. Through that way, we can have other sources of revenue without just relying on tax and others. Thank you so much. Let me just conclude there.
Thank you. When I said this time issue, people thought I was joking. Me now, I stopped joking. I'm very serious with anything that I'm doing. And okay, Mawa, thank you so much. Mawa Diallo, thank you so much. Those were very, very important points. I believe I've again add something to the little knowledge that I have today. There need to be a link between academic and institution that one need to fit in. That really hit something in my brain. And okay, I would like to move on to call Mr. Mohammed Bari. Mohammed Bari, you see, 7 minutes. So let's see how more. Man, suggest name de Bana. Mohammed Bari, your time starts.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Walaikum salam.
For the topic at hand, I'm talking about the topic at hand, that attitudinal change is what is required to change the perspective of Gambians in order to develop our country. I firmly stand in motion of this topic. But first of all, I would like to give definitions of the key terms of this topic, like attitude and system. First of all, attitude is just a reflection of how someone feels, thinks, and acts in response to something in a situation or an idea. So it is divided into three. we have a cognitive attitude. Let's your thoughts about something and your beliefs about something. There is an affective part to it. When you think of something positively, there is a positive reaction. That is the emotional aspect. That is the affective aspect. And then there's a behavioral aspect to it, the actions that you take towards it. So, taking example of education, if I have a positive uh, attitude towards education, then it's likely that I believe that education is important. That is the cognitive part. Then I would feel motivated to study hard. That is the affective part. Then I would actually work hard. So it will. That is the action. That is the behavioral part. When it comes to system is just a group of interdependent components that work together to achieve a specific goal. But when it comes to government terms, a system is a structured framework of institutions that the rules and the processes or the mechanisms that are established to regulate a state or society. With all this, first of all, I would like to address my first point is that the root cause of our challenges lies in attitude. Our country faces numerous challenges from corruption to inefficiency in governance. Like lack of accountability is something that is very key to the actually lack of accountability is harming our country so much. So let us just be honest. Corruption passes not because of the systems are inherently flawed, but because individuals operating within these systems prioritize personal gains again, like over the national interest generally. Poor service delivery is not just a systemic issue, but a result of workers' lack of commitment and dedication to their duties. So the second point is that system change without attitudinal change is just futile. It all goes back to the attitude. These guys we are talking about something like Mamadou Jallo was talking about patriotism. Patriotism is all about the attitude of the person. It is built, as he said, we need to introduce courses that give us that sense of patriotism. It is from the attitude. It's all built in the attitude. I've been doing a course recently here in India, known as IPDC. All they teach us is about loving India. They tell you that the first doctor who performed surgery was from India. They give you all sort of it's just like a brainwashing issue. I'm not like going against it. It's just that it gives them that sense of patriotism to support their country. They grew up believing that India is significant. But all we need to do is look at historical facts that where places where attitudinal change worked. Let's look at places like Rwanda. Rwanda experienced something a very hurtful genocide in 1994. But with the leadership of Paul Kagame, he tried to bridge the division between these tribes. He established something called Umuganda, meaning community service. When he started this thing, it started building trust among these tribes. Now we have seen where Rwanda has come. Rwanda is actually developed. Even let's look at India here. When we look at the Indian movement for independence, people like Gandhi, they were not only focused on releasing India from the shackles of politics, but also he taught people about unity. He taught people about patriotism. So now we might say what we want, but I can attest that like Indians have that sense of patriotism. So looking at the other aspect where people change the systems, but it never worked. Let's look at Iraq in 2003 when there was a US-led invasion in order to dismantle the authoritarian regime of Saddam Hussein. They then introduced a democratic framework, but what happened? Because the root cause was not addressed, there was no attitudinal change. This led to things like sectarianism. It led to the rise of extremist groups like ISIS. So it is just obvious that we need to change ourselves. If someone cannot change themselves within, you can't actually change anything. Not a country, not a country, not the world. Yes. You won't believe the intricate designs and beautiful. Oh, okay.
Go on. You have 1 minute.
Okay, no problem. So, in order to conclude all of this, we Gambians need to uphold that culture of nurturing. We still can change our attitudes. We hear Gambians saying every day, Gambia do them. We hear that all the time. Gambia do them, Gambia do them. But we need to change that. We need to believe that we can do it. And it all starts from within. Development starts from the heart. Every individual has a responsibility to develop. So we as Gambians need to accept that and work towards it. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Your time is in fuck off. I was muting you. I was muting you. Anyway, thank you so much, Mamadou Bari. Honestly speaking, you said something here. The attitudinal change in Rwanda after the genocide is something that one should learn a huge lesson from. Honestly speaking, thank you. Now I would like to call in Sado AK Jajo. Before you come in, let me remind you of the time schedule. It's 7 minutes. I will raise my hand up at the 6 minutes. After that one, the 7 minute, I will mute you. Sado, you don't know somebody. You're welcome. Your time start immediately you start speaking.
Even the best system will fail if citizens are indifferent or compliant with bad leadership. Speaker, the motion before this House reads, this House believes that the Gambia needs attitudinal change, not system change. So this is how my debate would be structured, because as debaters, this is what we would always do. I would first give the motion a context, after which I'm going to give my own points. I'll give an alternative if time permits, and I shall summarize and conclude, or I'll conclude. So Speaker, following my structure actually, firstly, according to the Oxford English Learners Dictionary, a modification in a person or group's perspective or way of thinking about a particular issue, situation, or concept is referred to as attitudinal change. And by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, a regularly interacting or interdependent group of items forming a unified whole, especially a social, economic, or political organization, is referred to as a system change. So from there, essentially, this goes down to telling us that attitudinal change focuses on individuals or communities' mindsets and behaviors, while system change focuses on altering frameworks, institutions, or mechanisms that guides processes within a society. So then to my point, the first point I'll put to this House is that corruption is deep-rooted in individuals' attitudes. In individuals' attitudes and not actually the systems. So, like, as it stands, looking at this said motion, many Gambians blame systemic corruption at some point. But have we forgotten that we all come from homes? In one way or the other, we are all from homes. So if these things, like if people are being corrupted or whatsoever, it is instilled in them because they are from homes. Those from homes are the guys that would exploit the system. So as statistically presented by Transparency International's report on 2023, it says 62% of Gambians believe that corruption increased in the past year, which is 2023, yet 68% admitting paying bribes for public services. This reflects a cultural acceptance of corruption, regardless of systemic laws in place. So this goes down to telling us that corruption is deep-rooted in the individual's attitudes and not the system that we might proclaim at some point. So Speaker, the next point I'll give to this House is actually existing systems are sufficient but poorly utilized. Because as it stands, we already have a system in place. There's already a system. So by virtue of things, I have had speakers that said that when you look at, let's say, the reason why Yajame came and built schools and did a lot of things was that he kind of changed the system. But hello, this is a house of intellects. He didn't change the system. He upgraded the system. So put that to your head next time you come before this house. Laws and policies for governance, accountability and transparency already exist in the Gambia, but they are often ignored or bypassed due to lack of attitudinal discipline. So it is based on our attitudes that people bypass those laws and policies that we have in place. For instance, the anti-corruption bill, which we've always been singing as Gambians, has failed or has actually been having a lot of delays, not because of the system, because the system put it before the house, but then the parliamentarians are kind of delaying the whole stuff. So that goes down to telling us that it is the attitude of the people that we voted in to represent us and not the system that is already in place. So essentially, Speaker of the House, I'll move to my third point. And the third point I'll give to this house is that development thrives where attitudes align with progress. So what do we mean by this? I would make a comparison, which was actually made by Mohammed here. That is to compare the Gambia with Rwanda after their genocide and things of that sort. Rwanda transformed not just by changing their systems, but by shifting the attitudes that they had. President Paul Kagame emphasized discipline, self-reliance, and anti-corruption values, which rebuilt Rwanda's economy and society. So there isn't any way that anyone could come before this house and tell us that a country needs a system change in order for it to prosper or in order for it to get what it really wanted. For instance, reported by DWTV on September 20th, 2021, Rwanda improves its ease of doing business, ranking from 158 in 2005 to 38 in 2020 due to attitudinal change among both leaders and citizens. For instance, let us recall on the president's Meet the People tour. Like looking at this tour, it has now assumed political grounds because we have seen speakers here that said they're not going to talk about politics or things of that sort. But looking at the said Meet the People's tour, it is related to now politics. I know somebody might argue that it is actually constitutionally mandated, but constitutionally mandated where you would have to apprehend the vehicles of the said ministries, and the said ministries will not be functioning because those that are in the said ministries would have to join the president in this said crusade or tour. For instance, the educational system is already dilapidated. The health sector is a no-go area that no one would have to talk about. So if you are seeing all those people going into these stores, politicizing everything instead of talking about the needs and aspirations of the people, I believe that the motion before the house will not actually be understood by the opposition side. Because, and again, like going to the side of the budget, again on the development that thrives within our, thrives where attitudes align with progress. So looking at it, you come to realize that under the National Assembly's Media House, it was presented by the Kiang West Nam, the National Assembly member of Kiang West, who is Honorable Lamin Sise, on the 6th of December, 2024. And I'm reading from what he had mentioned. He said, in 2022, the approved budget for the provincial visits, which is the Meet the People's tour of the president, was 6 million Gambian dollars. An actual amount of $25 million was used. So according to him, what do we make of 25%? What is the percentage of 25 million, 6 million out of 25 million? So like essentially he also said in 2023, 10 million was allocated for the tour. But again, the actual amount which was used went all the way to 61/63 million. And in the middle of the fiscal year, you would hear the president coming on board to talk about certain things, telling us that he had, how do I put it, imposed a ban on like a travel ban at some point, when actually all the ministries have already exhausted the travels that they are supposed to do. So with this, do we have to blame the system that is in place, or we have to blame the individuals? Because the National Assembly had already done their approvals, but then it is the people that we have on the ground that would go down the line to do what is expected of them, because the treasury is under the government. So obviously, like the attitude is left to those people that they wanted to do. So,
Yes.
Speaker, since time is not on my side, I'm going to give an alternative, and that is to say, we need to have educational reforms. We need to have public accountability campaigns. We also need to have leadership by example, reward our leaders who exhibit integrity to inspire citizens, and also, of course, community engagements. This could be through radios or some things of that sort. So on that note, I came before this house, reminded the house of the motion. I went on to giving a context to the motion, which is to say, giving
Thank you so much, Sadio. And honestly, I believe you said a lot. I'm so inspired to this topic. This topic is really wonderful, right? Amazing. But no, we are diplomatic. We come with the diplomatic way. We are in the British system, but we don't follow time. Thank you so much, Sadia. I would like to, but before I call on Mr., I would like to notice the presence of Mr. Abdul Latif Tabali, and a colleague of ours and a former schoolmate from the Nusa Senior Secondary School, and also one of the public speakers and a debater, a poetry, and a comedian. Sorry to use that comedian word, Abdul Latif, but your presence is noticed. And I would like to call in the Vice President, that is Sena Busanya. She also has something to say. Sena Busanya, you're welcome. Abdul Latif, I saw your hand. I will let you in, inshallah. Sena Wala, Vivi. Okay, then that being the case, Abdul Latif, you can come in, please. You can unmute your mic, and let me remind you of the rule. It's 7 minutes, so you can come.
Ma,
Okay, Luis is around now.
I
So
using two devices.
yeah,
Can you maybe lock out one of them?
if I look at one of them, if you will not hear me, you know the network system here more. Please don't bring that in here. You already
No, it's
understand.
echoing, like it's echoing.
Sorry, you should understand the system more. Not you are like a Model Luis, and it's like you're around. Model Luis, can Abdulatif, please allow me to call in Model Luis, then you shall come in.
Ma,
Now,
to avoid the echoing, you will reduce the volume of the other one that you are not using, so that it will
yeah,
not the voice will not turn over here. Reduce the volume to zero, so that they will all be in without interfering from each other.
yeah, I just did that. Thank you, Mr. Njai. I just did that. Is Luis around? Sadio, you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Ma,
salam. But
ma,
Luis, you are
let me
welcome, but
start.
you have 7 minutes. Don't come and talk about anything to
Ma,
me here.
relax, relax. Boy,
Okay.
Harold, Mr. Tabali. Let Mr. Tabali go in first. Then after I will go after him.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
If you Tabali,
Boy, ma, boy, the buga hulo sajo boy.
it's okay, Tabali. Jehna ya Mod Luis. Mr. Tabali, you are welcome. The floor is yours.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah everyone. This is Abdul Tabali live from the Gambia. Okay, I was introduced as a comedian. No, that's just part time. Anyhow. Okay, Manuel, thank you very much for having me. Sajo, thank you. Everyone, I'm saying good day to you. Senabu Alajiba, I can remember everyone by name, but like the topic is so inspiring. And then if you look at the topic from afar, you are like, this is a regular topic. But like once you meet with intellectuals or upcoming intellectuals, and then some people I know they are very seasoned here. So if you don't appreciate being called upcoming intellectual, it's your business. I don't care. You find out that the topic carries more than like you think it carries. And then that's such an amazing thing to see in students, like when they bring each other together, and then they start talking about things that we don't even pay attention to, and then you find out that these people are, how do you call it, writing books in words, like they're just dropping PDFs, like just like when Sajo was presenting, it was such an amazing presentation, and then it was out of bounds when Uncle Moderator muted him. So that's something else. Next time, when the presentation is on fire, you let it be on flames. You don't interrupt because we, the audience, are here for that. We are not here for your control. You get it? You don't forget about it. Okay, moving on to the moving on to the topic. I'll be kind of slow now because I got a distraction. Okay. If you look at the system now, if you look at the Gambia as a country, whether we have a system or we don't have a system, we have people in the Gambia. And then the people, anywhere you go, are the system. Because these people put down, let's say, their ideas together and then call it a system. So it means it is a reflection of what they believe they should be living in, like per condition, let's say social, their social arrangements and then stratus and then everything. So if those people are not good enough, there's no way they will have a good enough system. If those people are not intellectuals, no matter how many days they spend on like building the system, it's all going to be, how do you call it, a touch house. And if you look at our country, we have, if there's a system, it's been the same system being manned by different people. And then, how do you call it, something that you understand, usually it's more of the one that you build yourself or the one that you are raised in. But if you are outside the system and then you see that there's the system or there's no system or the system is a very bad one, good. You join the system and then you keep quiet. It's either the system is bad in your favor or you found no system there and you alone cannot build any system. So what? You just join the party. And then to me, it is, I'm not saying a favor, but it is an opportunity. Sometimes you have to join the system to be part of the system. If you cannot cancel the party, join the party. It's just simple logic. Sorry, stop laughing, boy. Yeah. If you are saying, please, boy, can you mute him? Like he's distracting me, actually. Yeah, distracting me. Sorry. Okay. For example, if you look at the national budget, when they are talking about the national budget, we have rules guiding, and then we have situations, real life. I mean, they are talking about real life situations. They are talking about people, human beings, your welfare, my welfare. But when they start the discussion, you will know that these people are not there for us. And then those people making the law, they are the system, whether things are in place or not. So if we started, if we start talking about things like, if we started talking about the issue as though, uh, how do you want it? The reality of people, let's say the morality of the people, and then the law in on paper are different things, then we are going to be misled. I don't know if I'm making sense because I so talking about the bad system, it means we are talking about those who are in charge of the system. Sorry. Well, talking about the system, we are talking about those in charge of the system. If those people are good, if those people are there for us, then there's a system. If those people are there for something else, then it means there's no system. Whether we have rules and guidelines there, it means there's no system at all. And then if you get my point, I'm not going for or against the motion. What I'm emphasizing is there's no system, and I'm done. Thank you. Today I'm not here to make sense. I'm just here to drop my points.
Thank you. Thank you, Abdul Latif. Sergeant knows the reason why I use the word comedian. Sergeant, I believe you understand that part. But thank you. I would like to modulate. Should I call you or should I call in the vice president?
Ma'am, you said a rekobuga orek.
Okay, I would like to call in the vice president. That is Senabu. Senabu, you are welcome. Senabu, are you around?
Yes, yes, I'm here, ma.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Senabu. You have 7 minutes.
Okay, okay, thank you. So, listening to all the points from His Excellency, all the way to the last speaker, Mr. Abdul. Thank you all so much for that contribution.
Nice smell.
Ma,
Hostel life. That is hostel life. Deal with it.
okay.
Me, I was sleeping.
Okay,
Okay.
Senabu, you
Can you
can
give, yes, 1
mute.
minute. The one.
Hold Louis, you can come in. Senabu is in the hostel, so she get to deal with that there. But Louis,
Yeah. Ma, gente ulo manak boy. Please soma o ngajel nang kang osmoto.
J Mola sorry
Assalamu
mota.
alaikum everyone.
Yo, J Mola.
Assalamu alaikum everyone present. Actually, I missed many of the presentation there, especially Tengna Ambo. Bo was the first person to present. I missed that one. But anyway, man, I'm gonna go ahead with the topic, and I'm gonna go for the motion, like which says that the government need attitudinal change rather than system change. Okay, so where I'm gonna emphasize much is on like civic responsibility. I guess last week, Mr. Nya spoke about civic responsibility, like the role of citizens in governance and how they should change their attitude towards like civic engagement and accountability. Like in the Gambia, we have something like we don't. I will not even say it's a rule or it's a law. We have something like back way. Like anything a citizen is doing in the Gambia, you prefer or you rather take the back way, and or it's just like come go into a queue, meeting people in the queue, you're back queue and go straight to the first line. When leaving many people behind. It's not how am I going to relate it? Come even I myself, come I've been through that in the Gambia. Like I want to do something, I would rather take the back way than go and take the front way. And let's say, for example, going to look for a passport, you go and you will meet like tons of people there, but you would rather have someone you know, ko xamantene, like you will just come, like on your front line be pump, nga dem nga jël a passport. Many times, like I've been angry with my mother many times because I would be like, you have many connections. Why don't you like call somebody so that it will be very fast for me? But she would rather I go stay there from morning to evening, which I don't even understand why. Like everybody's not following rules. Why are you following rules for me? Hanga. But later you will understand that we the citizens, we are the problem. Man, I'll not blame the system. Then. We the citizens, we are the problem. We need to change our attitude, especially when it comes to like to the governance of the country. There was this time back, our president before, yeah, Jammeh. It's a rumor. I don't know whether it's true or not. I heard that there was this time he was driving his individual car and his car was tinted and he wore no seatbelt. So he went to a checkpoint and just to check whether the police will stop him or not. Unfortunately, the police stopped him. So he was making sure that at least the people he is employing for them to work for the country are doing their job properly. But some people are not. Gambia, you will go, the police will catch you, you give 500, and the police will be like, this 500, I'll work till the end of the month, I'll not have it. There are even some policemen who will say that, like, what I get from the state, the bribe I get from the state is more than, from one day, is more than what I will get with my full-time salary. Sometimes you will not want to blame them because, yeah, their salary is very low, but sometimes, like, it's a law. You have to follow the law. You have to follow the rule. For me, what I think is, we the Gambians, we need to change our attitude. From the president to the person who was born yesterday, we all need to change our attitude. Sorry, I wasn't prepared because I was having my internship, so I didn't prepare much about it. So I'll just say this little. Maybe I'll come back in later if I have something in mind. Can I do that?
Thank you, thank you. Yes, you can come back in later, and if you
Okay.
heard other people saying something, you have something to against them, still you can come up with your point. And thank you. You also made a very great point. This issue of bargaining in the Gambia is too much. Even in the university, okay, my people, when they give me 1 minute or 2 minutes, let me also give my idea. Let me demonize it. Even in the university, some of the students are not eligible to some of the particular courses. But what do? They just they have to pay some of the things like that, and then they were granted admission into university. It's crazy. Sometimes you don't understand. Same happened when I went to look for an ID card. I went there with I found my uncle there. He said he's going to. He was like, you can wait anytime that you want to come. I was like, Mom, I need to go early. What if I find elderly people there, the people that need to work? Well, well, after praying for Jiri, I went there to Brikama. And Alhamdulillah, only one person faced me there. And I was the second person. I
That's me
just
there.
stay calm and allow the person to go. But because we know each other, we call them Boganized or whatsoever, I don't know. Boganized. That honestly is something that is that is dragging Gambia backward. I would like to call in Miss Mariam Kora. Kora, Kora, do you have anything to add on? Any Jimbo or Salt or Pobar? Uh, both hand is up. Oh,
Yes,
okay,
ma.
Mr.
Ma,
Kevin, you
I'm
can come
ready.
in.
Ma, if the list is exhausted, yeah, I want to come back
Okay,
here.
I'm
wait,
ready
wait.
now.
The VP says now she's settled. Hostel life. VP, yeah, welcome.
I ran away. Okay. Okay, so what I want to say is all the speakers, they have said something like that is very, very important. But I believe that attitude shapes the system and the system also influences the attitude. So I believe that these two goes hand in hand. So first, I would like to talk about the corruption and also the accountability. So a system is only as strong as the people who operate within it. Corruptions remain a significant challenge in the Gambia. According to the Transparency International Corporation Perception Index of 2023, the Gambia scored 34 over 100, indicating how serious the corruption is. This is ranking it 98 out of 180 countries. Considering the population of the country and also the size of the country, I believe this is like something that is very serious. What causes this? Let's imagine a well-designed like system. They mentioned they said the definition of a system, like an institutions and its framework and all those things. So if those entrusted with managing this system, they prioritize their personal gain over the national interest, this system will definitely collapse. So, for instance, the report shows the weak enforcement of anti-corruption laws that has undetermined the public trust in institutions. This is according to the source I mentioned. So, at the same time, if institutions are weak and lack transparency, even the most upright individuals they may tend to mix everything to a systematic, to like systemic pressures. For example, poorly regulated procurement processes in the Gambia's public sector, it have led to significant financial losses, according to the National Audit Office. So, thus this attitude and system, they are independent. The challenge is not choosing between attitudinal or system change, but realizing that one fits the other. Another scenario I will give is the education system and the mindset, which a lot of people have mentioned here. Sadio also said it when he was talking. So education sows the seed for both attitudinal and system change. We have had this all the time. Our parents are our first teachers. They teach us how to change our attitudes, how to frame our attitudes, how to become better people. So in the Gambia, 49% of the population is under 18 years old. This is according to the UNICEF, making education critical for shaping future attitudes. Yet, outdated curriculums and underfunded schools, they hinder the progress. According to the World Bank, only 60% of children complete primary school and fewer progress to secondary education. Changing the education system by improving teachers' training, providing adequate resources, and revising curriculums can foster a new generation with progressive attitudes. For example, introducing subjects on civic education and ethical leadership could inspire students to value integrity and community service. However, attitudes towards education are equally important. Teachers must embrace a mindset of dedication and excellence, and parents must see education as a priority. Without this shift, systemic investment in education will yield limited resources. I believe that fixing the education system without cultivating a love for learning is like planting without watering the seeds. Another aspect is the poverty and governance. Uh, they always speak to people. You can't ask someone to change their attitude while they are fighting to survive. This is something that you know is like crazy. You cannot just come and tell someone to change their attitude while the person is like fighting for their life to survive. In the Gambia, poverty remains widespread, with 53% of the population living below the international poverty line of $2.15 per day. This is according to the World Bank 2023. A single mother in rural Gambia, for example, may resort to informal means like informal jobs like selling in the markets and all those things. Because this is because to make ends meet, because she lacks access to formal jobs, social services, or any government credits. We know there's nothing like government credits in the Gambia. That is not like there. So critics might blame her attitude towards the law, but the systemic barriers she faces leaves her with limited choices. Addressing these barriers through improved governance, such as creating job opportunities, expanding access to healthcare, and implementing social safety nets, this can reduce the desperation and give people the space to focus on their personal growth instead of these kind of things. So when governance systems create equitable opportunities, individuals are more likely to adopt attitudes of responsibility and cooperation. So when system works for the people, people also tend to work for the system. So in conclusion, I believe that the Gambia needs a balanced approach where attitudinal and systemic change are pursued simultaneously. On one hand, instilling values such as integrity, hard work, and unity, this can inspire the citizens to take ownership of national progress. On the other hand, improving governance, education, and infrastructure will also provide the foundation for sustained growth and societal transformation. So the last thing I would like to say, if we want a better Gambia, we must change both how we think and the system we build to support our thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam VP, for those words. You wow. You did wonders. I love the presentation. I love the ideas that you raised out. Okay, I can see Mr. Mbo, Mr. Sajo, and Jai. But I would like to ask the Ghanaians, Kora and Mominatu. I want to hear from you people. The silence is not catching my eye and it's not catching my head. And we let's be time conscious also. It's 9:22 already. Yeah, Cora and this one. I would like to hear from the both of you. Where are you? Mominatu. There's Mominatu. Is Mominatu around? Okay,
I'm with the
then
Boba
I
Yangi
believe I
Tanya
need
time
to.
be.
No. Okay, okay then, Mr. Mbo,
No,
you can
YS
come
Chan
in.
was on the list. Maybe you can give YS chance to speak also for because I believe I've already spoken. Others also the same thing. So Cham can give his contribution.
Okay,
Then we start
on the
rebuttal.
list then next we have Wise. Sajo, I think on the listeners we have Sajo, but Wise you can come.
Guamon koro di life go. Eh, ma.
Why is you and money? Why is you and money? Don't say money is here. Okay.
Don't worry, it's fine, it's fine.
You have
Okay.
7 minutes.
Okay, 7 minutes. Okay, no problem. That's okay. That's fine with me. Greetings everyone. Good evening. I would like to greet all of you. Definitely, I'm really impressed. Seeing young Gambians, coming together and trying to agree on something. I think that is quite wonderful. Okay, but first, before I move, I think I will start with. I said this one in Punjab, and I will say it here also. Annual subscription. We're supposed to pay only 1,000 in a year, and some people are not paying it, and then they are now talking about having Gambia at heart. Sometimes I'll be like, haha, I hope these people they really means what they are saying. How can you have Gambia at heart if you are not able to pay 1,000 in a month, 1,000 subscription? Then it will be very difficult. So that is where everything starts. As my economic teacher used to say, Mr. Conde, he said development start at home. He said, if you cannot even arrange your clothes, so you should forget about development. Okay, so now Gambia, all what we need is about, we have to change our mindset. That's the bottom line. We have to change our mindset. Could you imagine? I can say 4 months ago, two ministers resigned. Why? Because they were appointed and asked for the law. If you have dual citizenship, you cannot hold such position. But at the end of the day, they were given two options: either to decline the other citizenship, that is to cancel it, or to leave the position. So they choose to leave the position over Gambia. So you see the problem now. So it means if a minister, a whole minister, can resign just because he or she, doesn't want to decline the citizenship of another country, then I hope I think someone have a point, like someone can have a point and said, are we really serious? Two ministers, they resigned because they said, like they cannot decline other country citizenship over Gambia. So you see the problem. That's why I said mindset. If you go to Singapore, if you read the history, where they are today, if you just go and read, they will tell you some of the reasons. First thing, you have to change your mindset. That's the mindset. Okay, Barrow trust me, or let's say Mr. X trust me, and then he put me in this particular position, just to husband the affair of that position. But I'm not doing what is expected, and then they are paying me every month. And again, I will go out, I will go home and tell people I'm working. We are not really working. We have to be honest ourselves as Gambians. If I said, Sergio, you are the Minister of Education, just make sure you do everything and that can develop that sector. That is the most important thing. But it is very sad now that Gambians are only occupying position just to have some money and other things, but not necessarily to develop. And that is the problem right now we are facing. Um, and then again, everything boiled down to the leadership. Leadership is the main problem also. See, if I steal 1,000 from the government, if you have a correct leader, let's say a responsible leader, or a leader that's for me, I think that he or she is responsible, the person should prosecute me. Then if guilty, I should be jailed. That's the bottom line. Sometimes you have to set an example, corruption free. That is why Lumumba used to say, he said corruption has killed more people in Africa than civil war, and that is very 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 true. So that is it. Leadership problem after the mindset. When we are to go for work, we have to go there just to develop, but not necessarily don't not only to go there and then try to steal from the state, or just to go there and feed our family and everything finish. And then the thing is, I once listened to this man. I think it's Paul Gagami. If I'm wrong, you can I stand to be corrected. Someone asked him, why is it that your kids are not going to private schools? He told them that I am the president. I'm the one mounting the arm. I'm the one mounting everything here. I'm the one responsible for everything in this country. So if my kids are not going to the public school, but I choose to take them to the private school, then it means I don't trust public schools. And I'm the one responsible for public schools. This is the problem we are having in Gambia. Just look at the ministers. Just look at high government. You see, Minister of Education, his son or daughter is not even in a public school, but is in a private school. Now, where is government? Let's take example. India here. India, if you have a job with the government, you celebrate. You have a job with the central government, you celebrate. I'm telling you this for free. I once asked our mom, how much are you people receiving in a month? She said 1 lakh plus. I'm telling you, she said 1 lakh plus. I told her that is huge. She said, do you think that having a job with the central government? See here. She said, if you have a job with the central government, it means you make like you are already there. So that's the bottom line. People that we trusted, we put them in our position in this high position. They don't even have Gambia at heart. That is the main problem. If you talk about the ministers, come down to the governors. Now, could you imagine? There are some governors, like even if you ask me what's the name of your governor, I don't know, because these are people, they are not there for us. So this is the problem. And then when you go home, and then at home, we'll be the same people celebrating them, telling them that, oh, you people are doing. No, we have to be, we have to be responsible, and then we have to honor ourselves. We tell, see, this is the Gambia we have, and there is no one from India or any other part that can come to the Gambia and develop Gambia for us. No, we should be the people that should work hard to make sure that we develop that little country called the Gambia. That's the bottom line. If you steal money from the government, we take you to jail. That's the only thing Gambia can develop. Rwanda. Rwanda was a country that was seriously, affected by this civil war, something like that. But what happened was, one of our mom at UTGC told me that if you meet like any guy from Rwanda, if you ask the person, what is your tribe? The person will tell you that I'm a Rwandi. But the guy will never tell you my tribe, like my tribe is this or that. No. He said the guy will never, he said, because those people, they have realized their mistake. And that is, and now they are correcting it. But Gambia, we have realized our mistakes for how many years, and still we cannot correct it. Can you imagine? A country that we said Gambia is 60 years, 60 years old. Even airplane, we cannot even have it. Aeroplane, we don't have it in Gambia. And still Gambians are traveling everywhere, and then they are talking about having Gambia at heart. For me, I believe if I am that position, called the president, Gambia will develop. But yet still, we remain hopeful that all these corrupt practices and all the bad people in the system will get rid out of them in years to come. So thank you so very much, man. Gambia is just like that. Every day I talk about Gambia. Every day. Ask boy, he will tell you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Finance Minister. That is really amazing. I think one thing Gambians lack is patriotism. Some of us we talk about patriotism, but honestly, if you guys come to look at it, it's like we are not patriotic citizens. Yeah, it's true. My mom also told me he said he's receiving 1.3 lakh when he was on holiday, and because he was in holiday, he was not coming to work. Imagine when he's coming to work, it's more than that. What Gambia is the opposite of it. Okay, we cannot finish talking about Gambia. The queue is like, yo, it's queuing.
Ma'am, I
I
want to
would
know
like
that.
to I would like to not Mo, if you unmute yourself here again, I will unmute you. I would like to notice the presence of Mr. Musa Tamba. Musa Tamba, your presence is noticed, and we welcome you. It's really glad in our heart when we see your fellow other people who are not in India here joining our meetings, joining our discussions. Musa Tamba, welcome from all the way from, I don't know, forget the nation, a former schoolmate for that matter. Okay, on the queue, I think Mr. Mr. Mbo is no more
Okay.
there. He
Man la
left
de.
at the meeting.
No,
Oh,
no, my Mr. Mbo,
Mbo, you are welcome.
Yes.
teguloo ñu open floor bi rek comme last week.
Yeah, flow la
Parce
kay
que yow
flow
soo
la
bëggee
time
report,
bi.
waaw ñu open ko rek parce que soo bëggee report kii mu
yow
report kii mu
lii
report
dara
at
du
least yow
leen
sooy report Mr. Abdoulaye mu lifin la. Xam
Why
nga
you
ci la
the problem is going to be we are going to have overlapping speeches.
No, we
Tegulo.
are following the
no,
queue.
but last time
What
ñun mag
is the
lañ
name?
we
We are
are very
following the
mature,
queue.
so
I
mun
made
nañoo
a
dégluwante
list of
I
Man,
guess.
those
I'm not
how
man
people
for
raise their hand.
man they wanna stop. That is the problem. So
Okay, no, ma wanna right.
Ah,
man never
anyway,
Yes,
turn my
okay.
turn, right?
Let's go
okay,
turn by
okay,
turn
okay.
here.
Yeah, fuck na no lola
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much, ma.
I'm just following the like list of how people raise up their hand. So and I think Mr. Mbo is on the trap. So Mr. Mbo, you are welcome.
Yeah, thank you so very much. I believe a lot have been said, and I love definitely seeing people coming with different view about the topic here. That is some supporting system change and some coming with different thing. You know, like and my boss here, Mr. Njai, and would make mention of very important. I was really that's why even Ma when you called them, I was like, Ma, what are you doing? So okay, coming now to this. You know, like there is a saying here, like if you are afraid of doing something, or if you don't do something because if you are afraid of someone, if that person is not there, you will certainly do it. So that's the bottom line. So therefore, instead of afraid of doing something, respect that person or have the attitude that this is not good, I won't do it. So therefore, as Gambians also, if we say now like we need people that will force people or the system that will force people to do it, what if there's no one to enforce that law on them? How do you expect them, how do you expect them then to behave? So meaning now they will go back to the normal way, meaning they are bad behavior. So at the end of the day, you will see that the purpose of the system will be defeated. But when we have good attitude towards what we are doing, even if no one is there to coordinate us, even if no one is there to control us, we'll make sure that what is expected of us is done. And when that happens, everything will go smoothly. Everything will go smoothly. Why should they monitor you so that you can do something well? Mr. Njai make mention of MRC not using like cash system and those kind of things. What happened here? Like even if they go now, what they do, they tell you inflate the invoice. And when you inflate this invoice, when MRC make payment, the person who make your whatsoever can have his share, then you have your share. Like honesty, that honesty should be in us that that we won't even think of that. Whatsoever we will be doing, we'll ensure that we are honest with it, and then that's it. So that's why here, before we talk about the system, we have to talk about ourselves because we are the very people that constitute of that particular system. If our behavior is bad, if our attitude is bad, the system will be worse. So that's the bottom line. That's why I love like the contribution of my VP. He make me somebody say when the system work for the people, people tend to work for the system. So that's the meaning like the system and people work together. And at the end of the day, it's people that determine the system. And let's come to corruption. For example, in the Gambia, let's talk about the system in the Gambia. Like, let's see, the system didn't motivate corruption. And there are laws that if you are caught being corrupt, you should be punished for that. That's a very good system. But now people are doing whatsoever they feel like doing because of what? There's no one to monitor them. Why they need someone to monitor them for them to do what is right? Because their behavior is very bad. Their behavior toward work is very bad, or their attitude is very bad. So now coming to Gambia, anywhere you go, even you see signboard like bribery is illegal. But end of the day, we all end up bribing people, bribing officers to get what we want. So I will show that like that's a good attitude. But we can have the attitude that look, like, why should I do this? This is the right way. Let me follow the right channel to get what I want. So those are the kind of things that can really make the system work. But no matter how good the system is, no matter how good policies are, if our attitudes are not good, the system will fail. That's the bottom line. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Honestly speaking, the system and the attitude work together. I'm so delighted with those words. Um, we have Abdullah Njai on the list, next on the list. Njai?
Ma, I hope you are not the one that lowered my hand.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
no,
you.
I didn't lower your hand. Your hand was there, but it lowered itself.
Thank you very much. I really like the way it is going. Like Mo said, it is really interesting, and people are voicing out, which was the idea to speak out and this. But again, I think there is a misunderstanding here. Like I'm also defending my system. I will still continue, despite we'll be here. Me and Jalo alone will be lonely, but we'll still try to put some senses. Okay, I think you guys are not understanding actually when we say system because is there any system in the Gambia? You're not quoting from Gambia because Gambia don't have a system. That's where you got it wrong. If you're quoting from who have a successful system change, you will quote South Africa. that moved from appetite to where it is. Quote from China. These are people that had moved from those autocratic leadership to a new system. And when we talk of system change, we're talking of not only one way, you talk of political system change, economic, like Jallo mentioned, there's economic system change. Even the social system, there is a social system change. Cultural and ideological system change. These are all these changes that need to be effected for a whole component to work perfectly. It's not just a one-way thing. And still, please don't stop quoting Gambia because Gambia don't have a system. Why would Halifa be crying to say we need a system change since after the autocratic leadership? Why? If someone made mention of the National Assembly itself is part of the bad system. So how can they change? You guys are quoting it wrong because you don't have the system. If the system was improper, please, if the system was improper, you have the correct National Assembly that are there for the people, that are not there for themselves, that were voted in. And most of the people are blaming. You in fact blame yourself because you are the one that vote for them. They don't come for themselves. People vote for them. So it's all the system because when they're coming to political parties, they did not come to give a manifesto. You vote them because you know them. So these are all part of the characteristics of the system. They are part of the problem. So Gambia is not an example of a system. We don't have a system. Like I said, South Africa and other countries that had been in serious problems and now move and build up a good system and now are developing or moving in the right like in the like China, I made mention of. But Gambia had no system. I made mention this. If there is no way you can, like, I would also agree with Senator that it can be side by side. Like Jallo also said similar thing. I agree on that. Just to come to terms. Yes, one could say, okay, they could be supportive. But if you believe on the attitude alone and the system is nowhere, bro, imagine a police officer receiving a bad salary and then seeing money flowing and he knows he can tap 1,000 or 2,000. What would he do? If look at these drug issues. It's because the drug scandal that had happened. If there was no way of people handling drug, cars burning drugs, there was a system that was put in a place that no one, or it has to be done this way. Everything put on the right track, no one would have those access to in fact see those drugs or see these monies or do issues or have access to some of those funds or some of those things than to be corrupt because the system will be there to help. The system cannot just only be passing or whatever. It has to do with technology, especially technology. Technology has a big role to play because I said made an example of when a system is built on the technology, you cannot because it will be built like it's built in a way that it's going to be automated. You don't just come and click. You made mention of when you go to the Majiman said when she wanted to go to look for an ID card, the uncle said so and so. Because there was no queuing system, there is no online booking, there's not, you have to go, everything is manual. So Gambia is not an example. Don't quote from Gambia, please, for God's sake. Because there is no correct system. If the correct system is not there, why would you quote from Gambia? Let's quote from China. Let's quote from South Africa. Then you would come to term and agree that even if we need to change attitude, I would agree. Wumbo will say on the ground, yeah, I know what your point is. But again, here, even if I will agree that yes, attitude is a problem. And civic, I would agree with Luis. We have problem with civic. It has to start from the ground. And all those things have to do with system. If the education system has the proper system and start from where it should have been and have civic education part of grade 1, people start loving their country. That system alone can in fact bring these people because these people will be brought up in a way that you don't even have to tell them this is the right thing or this is the way to change your ideology. They would automatically know it because it was there in the education system since day one. So stop quoting from Gambia, please. Over to you. Ma.
Thank you, Njai. Thank you. So it's like we are absorbing a lot of knowledge from here. Okay, Sadio, you can come in. Sadio, okay. Maudo, just not after you, Sadio, yola. Is Sadio around? If he's not
Yeah,
around,
I
I
am
can
around.
call Maude.
I'm around
Okay,
full time. I'm
you can
around
come
full
in.
time. You think okay, but this time around you're not giving timing there. Well, okay. So
I'm giving it still. I'm giving it.
pardon?
I'm giving them, so know how to summarize.
Okay, so I would start by actually, would I say, with attitude, it's kind of interlinked, but everything is deep rooted in the side of the attitude that every other individual would have. So, like, if you were telling us that the Gambia does not have a system, that goes down to telling us that we do not have a leadership, we do not have a a government, we do not have a national assembly, we do not have a judiciary, and of course we do not have the press doing what is expected of them. This is what is expected of a system. So if we talk about a system, this is it. I'm talking about the aspect of transitioning. This goes down to our election cycles. You come to realize that from Jammeh's time to down the line, we have been having elections as expected. So if you're telling us that you blame the system, I believe obviously like you need to do your research well as far as that is concerned. So I'll just give one point for this time, and that is like cultural attitudes hinder systemic enforcement. It was earlier on mentioned by most of the people here. For instance, when you look at like our Gambian sector, nepotism, favoritism, and even tribalism are rampant in the Gambia, and they undermine even the best design systems. For example, recruitment. When you go to recruitment in public offices, often favors personal connections over merit. Ma talked about it, but anyways, she defended herself by saying that she tried being patriotic as a citizen. So essentially, we wouldn't go on that grounds. But then again, like what Maud Louise was insinuating, provided her mom supported his idea, essentially like he is also going to be kind of those guys that would lean on these connection issues, and that goes down to the issue of nepotism. For instance, like recently it has been reported by the Standard newspaper just yesterday on the 6th of December 2024, this Friday, and it reads, two municipal police officers accuse KMC heads of favoritism. So is favoritism systemic or attitudinal? This I would ask you guys. So please let us call a spade, because this house would adopt that. The Gambia needs attitudinal change, but not system change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sadio. We will now call on Maobe Diallo. Thank you.
Yes, coming back, and thank you all for your contribution. Sayo, Sayo, you are this, I don't know how to describe this thing, but then the way you are seeing it, I tend to differ a little bit. You see, when we talk about Gambia don't have a system, if you not like, suñ waxee ne géej bi amul ndox, that doesn't mean ne ndox nekku fa friend. It means the system there is not, it's not enough, or it's not sufficient to be called a good system. Now, there is what we call vicious cycle of poverty in economics. But here I also use the same term to call a vicious cycle of bad system. This bad system create elements that reinforce each other in the same system. You go to the judiciary, it should be absolutely independent of the executive. Is that happening in the country? You go to the journalists, the freedom of speech is given, yes, but those the same journalists, some of them have political lines. So this is where we have a problem. We actually have problems in the system that we have. You made mention of the tour, the many people tour. This was given in the constitution. In a good system, this would have been removed, scrapped off from the constitution. In this digital world, everybody could have created your own input through an opinion box, through an opinion way, like in the media. With all his advisors, with all the people in State House, they should have gone through these things, and President Barrow will have understand actually the cause of the people without spending that 30 million or all those millions. Those millions, even if every year since this multiple stores started in the Gambia, if every year that budget was used for one sector, by now we would have got a lot of development in different sectors. But it is the same system that they are following, which is not helping. This is my point. I'm not saying their attitude is not needed. It's true. We need attitude, good attitude to run those systems. But general attitude of every single individual in the country is not possible. So therefore, it is only possible to guide those attitude, the general attitude of individual by good system, through good system. But specifically at some of the leadership aspect, we need people to have good attitude to run those systems so that the system can work. But when the system work, they will filter out. They will make sure that all the general individual will not have any access to those things. Brother Louis made mention of the issue of passport. The same thing. If there was an online, I went through the same passport almost 2 weeks. But you realize that even at the passport, the queue in itself is chukur chakar. Let me say it this way. You cannot even know the head and the tail of this queue, because I don't understand. So imagine all those things could have been done digitally. If you go, you just find your number there and enter. I am sure there is no perfect system, and there is no perfect attitude. One or two may have access even through that, I understand, but this will minimize it to the lowest level. This is my point. You understand? Coming to the education system, the same thing. This thing could have been aligned. Going to infrastructure, people are saying Barrow is just building road, building road. Is building road, can it feed people? But not forgetting the spillover effect. There is positive externality in building road. You cannot give everybody the pass, but by building their road, they can walk freely to go and find the pass. You understand? You cannot give everybody fertilizer, but by building road to their farms, they can now transport their goods to go and sell to the market. This is the point. Those are sustainable. But if Barrow or any other person create a budget of giving people money, this economic cost of it, the social cost of it, will be more than the private cost. This is the point which we need to understand. So it's not just about like how we take the system itself need an adjustment or a little change so that it can prevent corruption, it can be futuristic, it's not just like political line. We are not just doing development to earn political scores and political votes. All these things could have been checked and accountable by the system. But if the same system is reinforcing each other, if you are in my party, you can be, how to call it, an assassin member. Whatever I brought, you said yes. You this look just not looking at the same system is there. We know these things. So it's not about just individual attitude. We know attitude is important. In fact, there is this quotation in the Character of Muslim written by Muhammad Ghazali, that nation live till their morality lives. So nations live until like till their morality live. When their morality dies, the nations will die, according to that quotation. We know this. So, but actually, to create a system that will guide all the attitude of the people collectively, therefore we need a good system in place. We have the Asian tigers. They developed not just by a good attitude, they created good economic reforms, globalization. We've seen what happened to India that we are. It try to diversify economy from agricultural base to technology and health, and it is doing very well. We've seen what happened to China. You think China just developed in a day? No, they go through a lot of sacrifice. People died so that the system can work. People died so that the system can work. It's not just about the maslaha syndrome. Okay, you have no, no, no. A system should be in place because everybody have that how to call it, we have that care for the person that you know. Today we hear people die, but we don't, let's say most of us don't sympathize. But if you hear somebody, Mamadou Diallo, today I pass away, all of you will sympathize because some of you know me. So this is how it is. We have these feelings and this bonding with each other in the Gambia. We all know each other. So we only need a very good system to prevent us from helping each other. If not, we can be, we may fall in trap of this, not because we are corrupt, but because of the Maslow syndrome that we actually have in the country. So our sympathetic nature, the Gambian is sympathetic. So I think these things are things that we have to work on. I'm not saying we don't need attitude. Yes, we need attitude, but definitely we need a good system in place to make sure that it can collectively align the collective goals of all citizens in the country. Thank you so much.
Masa demut moderator be demut. Samba Touré yaa gana si queue bi de. Samba, let's hear from you.
Samba ñëwal.
Thank you. Wait. Well, thank you so much, Maure, for those words. Honestly, Gambia need a system change because I can remember there was a day I was see something like the current foreign minister of basic and secondary education. We are like, he's a good man. We just hope he will not be corrupt by the system. That means the system is corrupt. If I can if observe well, if I can understand what they are saying. Before Samba, Khadijatu should come in. Her hand was on top. Khadijatu Jalo.
Thank you very much, Majima. I don't know if I am audible because I am on a bus.
Yeah, audible. Yeah, audible.
Okay. So, firstly, I would like to thank all the participants for giving those insightful point of views about our system and attitude as Gambians. And then I believe I will I believe all the speakers have spoken well. And then for me, attitudinal change and then system change, they normally work together. Like you cannot have one and then leave the other one. Because if you look at it, Like how many people like will join a service or will join a workforce intentionally to do good, and then at the end of the day the person will be corrupted by the system. For example, if you have a teacher or a police officer whose intention is clear, he's ready to work, and then he is not there for corruption or for his pocket and so on. And then at the end of the day, that person will sit in office or will be on the traffic, seeing other officers having money, and then no one is saying anything about it. They will not be arrested, they will not be charged, they will not be criticized. And even if people are insulting them, they don't care. So at the end of the day, those people also end up joining.
Hello, it's Khadija here. Well, if she's gone, then we can invite Samba today.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. Okay, like, okay, sorry.
Uh,
Maya,
Khadija,
can I continue? Oh,
Khadija, are you back?
Yes.
Okay, go on, go on. Sorry, Samba.
I'm sorry, Samba, it is the network. So, like I was saying, sometimes we need attitudinal change, and then this will change the system.
Khadija, baa ñu jégal loxo rek.
Yeah, I suggest we continue with the orders. Then down the line we can have.
Okay, then we can invite Samba.
yeah, okay. Good evening, everyone. Okay, like, this is not my thing. Debating, I don't like out of comment whether I debate or what. But like, I found this topic very interesting, and I've listened to all of you from the first, like Mr. Mboy, President, up to the last passing year, and then all of you people have give great ideas, great points, which are they are good. But like when you come to talk of it, like we are talking about Gambia, we say Gambia, we are not talking about though it's normal, and it's very fine to take example from other countries like which have system, like they have the perfect, no, they don't even have the perfect system, but they have a thing that they can call it what system. But when you talk about system and an attitude, I mean, come on, like when you talk of an attitude, how are you gonna? My question is like, how are you gonna change people's attitude? Like, one thing is for sure, a system can change everyone's attitude, or even if it doesn't change everyone's attitude, those who refuse to to adopt to the system, their attitude they cannot show it because the system is there to what to display. So me, but when like for example, why Sham made mention of a I don't know a minister, I think two ministers who resigned because of a dual what citizenship. Yeah, if you think of it, that one is not the attitude. It's because of what the system in place. Like let's call the Gambia have a system there. It's not because of like because those ministers hadn't been there where there was a system which says that you if you have a dual citizenship or you cannot this thing when you have a dual citizenship, this thing is gonna happen or this and this, then those things, first place, they will not even appoint them. First thing, that's the thing that we need to consider most. And also, Khalifa Salah have been making mention of like we need educational change, education like other call it system change. Okay, India here, come to like let's say India. India, if you look at their education, like you look at their educational system, for us because we are doing like we have what you call the Ghanaian economists. Like someone made mention earlier here, the early speaker, someone said about Mahatma Gandhi, like he was saying, though he has influenced their attitude, but he put in place that's called what you call Ghanaian economics. Like I know most of you have heard about this cardi industry. It is integrated in their educational system. It is meaning even these people once you are an Indian, like that system will automatically what change your mind. Know that like that one, the attitude is already changed because most of them when you ask them when you graduate what they want to do, they'll say like I wanna work this, or I want to open my own business, or I wanna do this because it is in the system, is the education of the educational system is that what is teaching them that this thing whatever you have to do, this and that what you have to do. Meaning the attitude in that case, you cannot change the attitude of everyone. That's the thing, yeah. And also talking about like uh the construction, like building, Jala made mention of like, and we talk let's say about Gambia. Gambia, you cannot say people's attitude are that much corrupt. And it's true. Some people are very, very corrupt, and it's true. But we have hard working people, and Gambians, most of us, most of the youth, they are ready to work. They are ready to change. Those going to Bagwe saying about Bagwe, it's not their attitude that's taking them to Bagwe. Gambia, all what we say we have, what the system is not encouraging the bad system, this and this, even the educational system, and that's why we need like we'll go outside to find like something for a better educational system. Like most of the problem that we are facing, I believe it should be integrated in our educational system at an early age. In that case, it will have a great impact on our like attitude. Meaning you grow up with it. But changing everyone's attitude, come on, that thing is not even if not like about changing everyone's attitude. Those who are corrupt only, you can like even if you are not ready to change, the system will change them. And Gambia, what Jala said is very true here. We have what we call like we know each other. Gambia like Masla is there, and we meaning when you are to consider attitudinal change, that one is going to be very, very difficult and it's going to be very active. We just need a system because I believe a system can change everyone's attitude. That's the bottom line here. We have different beliefs. We have come from different culture. Now let's say Sharia said like the Sharia law. It says like the system Sharia law in a country where you have the Sharia law ruling there. It says if you commit adultery, I'm gonna like this thing's gonna happen to you. The system is there in place. Like some people have the attitude of wanting to commit that, but they will say, okay, the system said this. Once I do it, the system, this is what's going to happen. So automatically, that person is going to refrain from that. It's going to stay away from that. So you see, in that case, it's the system that is what's playing a role there. And also, we have many things that we can change in Gambia: the educational system, like agricultural sector. But the most important thing here is the educational system. Man, come on, you talking about though it's true. They go like they're blanks. Like you have to one the attitudinal change and the other college, the system change. They have to go hand in glove. But the most important thing here is the system change. And talking about Gambia, we all from Gambia. We know Gambia, and this thing is concerning our country. So we all know that we don't say we don't need attitudinal change, though we need it. But what we need, like for development, overall development of the country, is a well structured what system like that can change like the attitude of the people. Remember, a system can change everyone's attitude, but an attitude cannot change the whole system because the system influence the like entire nation. And an attitude of individuals and people that one the system can handle that. So I believe system change is what our country really needs. Yeah, though we also need like attitudinal change. Yeah. So much, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Samba.
Majima,
It's like, Nam,
sorry, can I come in?
okay.
So, like I was saying, in the Gambia, we need both system and attitudinal change. Like, even if we have the best system, um,
You are in the traffic.
hello?
So just understand that you are in the traffic. Okay, continue.
Hey, sort of, I want to say this. Like, even if you have the best system, sometimes it may fail because if our society, like, if our if our societal attitude does not change, for example, you get to that office or to that workplace and then you end up corrupting the system. There's this common saying in the Gambia: if you cannot beat the system, you join the system. Like one of the speakers has said it here in the beginning, that many people have this concept that Gambia do them, Gambia will not make it, Gambia has already failed. Like if you have this mentality, you can never work for the betterment of our country. They are always there for themselves. Look at all the news these days. People that should be protecting the youth, drug dealing. Sometimes it is very, very sad. So to me, they need to work together. These two things work together like a chain work. We cannot have one without the other one. It will not work. Look at most of us now. Some of us even prefer to stay in India here and sell ice cream than to go back to our country and work. Why? Because we believe that Gambia do them, which is a very, very long concept for me. So that is it. For example, like when corruption is, when people normalize corruption and then inequality, we don't even tolerate each other nowadays. What do you think will happen? It will not work. So it is not only the system that need to change. People need to change their attitude.
Are you gone or you're done? Yeah, the system need to change and the people need to change their attitude towards the system. Amazing. She already left it. Kaja, kaja. Okay, now I would like to call on Model Louis. Model Louis, solo hobi aga na hamna na down sona. Nyawal.
Okay, ma, thank you very much. Yeah, so no, okay. Thank God that hunger lulu. Okay, man, where I will come in is come. Everyone is saying that we need system change like Mr. Abdullah and that Samba. We need system change. Okay, what system do we need to change? Man, lo rek laa bëgg a xam, what system do we need to change? Wax ko si comment section ma
no bàyyi ma jël ko
okay,
rek benn 1 minute la.
No, fine. Waa da ngaa wax 1 minute ma continuer ma continuer. Okay, come in. Two of you, 1 minute. Well, 30 seconds. Go ahead.
But beginning, we have a system change. It's not only one component. They have the political system, the economic system, the social system, the cultural and ideological system. All these things need to change. And most importantly, the technology. They have to embrace technology for support. If all these things work, bro, there is no way. How am I profit on answer the issue of those ministers? The ministers test the system and they were not encouraged. You forget system is from World Bank. System was from World Bank. System was working with World Bank.
No, you are just supposed to answer a question and you are proceeding. That is not the rule.
No, okay, fine. I do agree with Mr. Abdullah.
I just want to clarify one thing. That lady that was in education, she was in the system, realized that there was no support at all, and there was no environment. So, risk she's going to fail. So that's why she had to end up leaving. But she was already in the system. She was an iron lady. She was trying all her best, but there was no way. People are even fighting for her. I got inside and couldn't hear her because they don't like the changes she was coming with. So that is the problem.
Okay. I totally agree with you, Mr. Abdullah. From that point, okay, one system change more. Okay, let's forget about the differences.
Social, political, economic, and technology.
No, but hanga loolu noonu yëpp dafa am sub classes si loo nekk di wax ni yëpp social dafa am sub class yëpp dafa am sub class. But what I'm saying is comme yaa ngi mention benn boo xamante ne let's forget about the differences difference yoo xamante ne let's say system change amul. Let's talk about system bu am Gambia and how people's attitude react to those systems. Let's talk about those ones. For example, let's talk about driver's license. Every Gambian know that you should not drive without a driver's license. Well, for me, mom, dega. Maybe I will say I started driving at grade 9. But I went through all learning driver's license before getting my license. Three drivers each 3 months. That is 9 months bala ma am suma license because of my mother. So the told mom because nama don am suma license straight. But because of ne come mu ngi wane you have to follow these rules. You have to follow ne da nga wara am 3 I'm not Gambia. Some people are here in this call. They are driving in the Gambia and they don't even know that before you should have a driver's license, you must go through 3 lanas license. You should have 3 lanas license before having a license. But there are some people in this call, they are driving in the Gambia without even having 1 lanas license. So do you want to tell me that the system is not there? The system is not there, but people are not going through that system. Hang on. People, I'm gonna lanas fan. I'm gonna lanas Abdullah. I'm not amul lanas and I know them. So system but people how are they reacting to those systems? Same attitude bila. Hang on. Same attitude be most of the system in the Gambia. Yeah, there's no system in the Gambia because people the way they react to the system, attitude buga ame dafa tax yow da nga fogg ne Gambia amul system sax. Fekk system mu fa. waaye nit yi ñoo ko fulalut nit yi ñoo faale wut système boobu noonu so there are many systems in the Gambia but nit yaa ko nekk di toppa nit yaa ko nekk di so after at the end do they am njëriñ sax yow yaa ngi wax system there are many things we need to change okay even if those systems are to be put in place system yëpp su put in place ba léegi you think that Gambia has no system because people will react to the system the way they want to react to the system so okay loolu rek laa amoon pour Manima thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Luis. Luis, but I believe when we say system, we need to know what to do. That's why I think we need to move from a pen and paper to
Manima, come again. Your voice is low. Speak louder. Manima, Nekundila Dega, speak louder.
Okay, Luis, thank you so much for that. And consider what you just said. Who is again? Sada, my mom. But consider what you just said. I think Gambia we need to move from the pen and paper version into the computer version. Because like okay, this issue of a license, Gambia we need to modernize. Let's move from the ancient world into the new regime. This issue of this driving license. You go, all those things are being done through pen and paper whatsoever. If everything is done computerized, everything will be in the system. Transactions that are made, if everything is done in the system, we just come there, need to type your name, you see everything there. But now you go, okay, madam, what I say, that driving license, it used to be 500 then I used to remember when my uncle used to do because someone that driver. 500, you go with the
Okay.
paper, hey, driving license, they will give you something like this, come in the ID card. Where is the receipt? Sometimes you go and ask, where is the receipt? Yeah.
Muna tutu rek. Okay.
You see, so all this, let's ask for receipt. When you go, okay, for example, they process everything is processed online. Yes, they don't ask for the flight asks something like in the let's for example, let's scan, let's say. You get a receipt direct, but then there's no need of laha sigana. But if you have to go read to this one, do this one, do. If the system is upgraded, if the system is updated, people must follow it by force because there will not be like alternative. There will be no alternative. But there is alternative. There is room. There are many paths towards reaching the budget. Okay, we have one way to budget, but we have many ways to go to Brikama. You can use any other way. So, but if you have only one way to get there, it's either you get there, if you want to get there, you get there through the right way, or you leave it. Then you will get there. So that is the problem. The system, the people need to change, attitude need to change. Yes, but the system need to change. Then the system will force attitude to change. But if attitude change, attitudes are good, the system can force attitude to reverse into a negative direction. I don't know whether you are getting the point I'm saying. I'm doing it. I don't want to talk debate about this because I'm coordinating it, but I think I need to bring out this part.
Ma,
Really. Let me
ma,
say something.
ma,
How about I want to
ma,
Sadia, you're doing it, you know,
Manima,
now,
Manima,
I think it's
please,
my
like,
turn now.
no,
yeah,
we can
wow.
let us say
No.
something. Like, please, 10:30 we can conclude, please. Or we can start conclude by
10
10:30.
10 sa sorry na de legi mo may ñu nekk ci line bi lay jox ñeneen ni boy ting isi man may wara joge sama kër may wara dem saati ñom mawbe dafa sori nak
I think it's my turn. 2 minutes, right?
mawbe de ameta la mawbe gi time to ameta she have one.
Okay, assalamu alaikum. Well, this
Walaikum salam.
debate is very, very interesting, honestly. The speakers have have said a lot and they have said everything. Well, for me, I will just go straight forward. I will not support either the motion or against the motion. I'll just speak generally. Fine. Okay, so talking about the system, I think we need we have to change the system honestly because looking at the Gambia, uh, it's very crazy. People are just saying Gambia do them. As the saying goes, there are a lot of anywhere you go, you have good people and you also have bad people. So and and people will always be people. So what I have to say here is that we need to have clear policies And also we need to engage in civil education, as it is already being introduced, like the civic education, which is trying to educate young people about the love for their country and all those things. And also we have to reduce tribalism, nepotism, and all those things. The leadership and the unity should be there. Yes. The corruption is too much. So the attitudinal and the system change both goes hand in hand. They are they both go hand in hand. However, system change often lies the foundation for sustainable development, while attitudinal change creates an environment that encourage um, rewards and positive things. So they both complement each other. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Aminata. A system change need to go with attitudinal change. Wow, that's amazing. Mother, I have it done 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, Manima, you were calling on me and now you're telling me this again. My hand was
Sadio.
up before him now.
I don't understand. Okay, okay, Sadio, 2 minutes.
Sadio,
Sadio,
let's
2 minutes.
put check it now.
No,
It's
no, no,
over
just
now.
let him in. Let him in. It's okay. I'd come
Mother,
in.
2 minutes. My set time 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, then I'll mute.
No, like man, Luma Bugawa, it's just simple. We've seen people that were brought from overseas to come and serve in the Gambia during Jammeh's regime. But at the end of the day, they become worse than the native citizens. And in those countries that they were serving, they were doing very well there. But because they were used by Jammeh, I don't want to be here mentioning names, but this is the reality that we have faced in the past region. So, like, it's not just about attitude. I definitely understand that attitude is important. Let me make this very clear again. But we cannot have a general attitude change, attitudinal change at the same time. So it is one at a time. So what we need is to have few like-minded individual with good attitude to just create a very good system that will definitely interlink all the sectors in the economy and make sure that definitely there will be no loopholes. There are many examples that are made mention of here, but I think all these things is because of a bad system. The system is created in a way that someone somewhere can just make a call and trust the system. So like it's not just everything doesn't pass through the right protocol. The channel of communication is sometimes not followed. Sometimes a police officer can even stop you for how to call it driving license. A commissioner will call you as a police officer and tell you, boy, biker, what can you do as a police officer? You follow your command. So this is the problem that we have. If everything were put in place, the systems were put in place, everybody will know your right, and everybody will follow actually what he or she is supposed to follow, and we read there. And also, Gambia at 60, we are still young. If you want to compare ourselves with countries that are almost 300, 400 years like the US, it cannot work. It's progressive. We are going. We are also moving. I know there are loopholes. This I want to protest. All the problem that we are hearing today in this regime is just because of the democratic nature of the regime. But that doesn't mean that they are just happening. Worse than these things were happening before, and nobody knew about it because there was no freedom of expression. So while we are taking accountability of some of these things and we are moving
Time you're not.
slowly, but slowly we reach there, inshallah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marvel. And Mr. Mora, Mo.
Man, move forward. Our hands are up now.
Wait now. Do you know the reason why I'm calling Bo?
Okay, combo, sorry. Yeah, Allah Akbar.
Anyway, Mr. Njai is around. Njai? Njai?
Yeah. To conclude, just to say,
Njai,
uh-huh.
wait, Njai, wait.
Yeah.
No, the Salas will come before you. Can you please
No, Sadio,
moderate the meeting for me? I'm about to go out. I should.
Madam Rex, Sadio can do an apple. Sadio Binala.
Okay, yeah, you can. Yeah,
Yeah.
you.
So
Mo,
basically,
yeah, you can just. Can you coordinate the meeting for me? I should be going
Wow,
out.
you can conclude. Yeah, it's okay. Thank you very much, ma. We are just concluding now because, to be honest, the idea is just to argue and disagree and agree to disagree. Right? That is the idea. I like. Yes, like Mangla Digga boy. sorry, signori meeting la neka, sorry. Yeah, the idea is to talk about issues. That is the idea. Me and Jallo and Samba probably were against it just to pull out points to show you, one cannot go without the other. To be honest, at the end of the day, my conclusion will be one cannot go without the other. And so Jallo made a very important point that people came. I don't want to make mention of persons here. Like mangla deglo. So what men mention something very important, Jallo, that people were appointed from US or from other countries, and when they came, they suddenly changed because of the system. So that is the bottom line, that one cannot go without the other. If you have people with very good attitudes, you still need a very good system to accompany them. If the laws, the constitutions, the policies, they are not intact, they are not good, they are not well governable, even if you are as straightforward or as you are civic as no man business, so please, let's consider both of them then. I agree with you 100% that attitude can be the lead. It's the grassroots. It is number one. No one dare joke with your attitudes because it's from your home. Someone said, mentioned here, if you cannot pack your clothes properly, forget about it, which is right. It has to start from somewhere. But I repeat, from the schooling level, from grade one, from the same system that could have fixed that in the school level could fix it at the final level, at the presidency level. We are very good in blaming government, blaming president, blaming this. But are we taking responsibility? Are we there to change? Do we pick up a banana peel on the streets? These are basic things that Gambians don't care, don't think they are major things. And these are very, very important. So at the end of the day, the bottom line is, yeah, attitude could be number one. I agree. But without a system, you will never, especially with events of this technology, it has to be. It's a must. I used to say that technology is nowadays is a default. It's not by option. If you don't want to use it, you go away. But it has to be. You made mention of going to queues and all that. It's because of there is a failure of system. If there was a good system, there is no way you can fake the system. There is no. Because nowadays things are encrypted. You can build it in a way that no one can tamper with it. It's happening. People will say there's no good system or there's no best system, but nowadays people are encrypting things and no one dare touch it. Or if you touch it, it shows that there is a log that you are the one that interrupted it. So that is the problem. Basically, to conclude that yes, they have to complement each other for things to work perfectly. Thank you very much, Sergio. You are on the queue.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Njai, for letting me in. I think we're really learning a lot as far as this issue is concerned, and I believe and hope that we're going to keep it alive. So for me, the debate isn't still over, and I'm not sure it's going to be over anytime soon. Yeah, so one thing that I want to set clear here is one of the speakers that came on board, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Samba, who mentioned the issue of Doi, in particular mentioning Halifa Saleh, that every individual in the Gambia is talking about Halifa doing well and things of that sort. But then one thing that I would like to ask is, why hasn't Gambians voted the Doi party in since in the 1980s? Because to put this whole stuff into context, we would be aware that Doi existed during, I would say, during Jawara's time and down to Jammeh's time. It wasn't even part of the political parties that were banned at some point in 1994 when the juntas took over. So essentially, it shows that they are there, they are doing their civic engagements and things of that sort. But down the line, it is based on the individuals. And just as Mohammed said, you cannot, and how do I put it? You cannot force people to do certain things that they do not want to do. So in one way or the other, it has to be like Maningas would say "Kachalaka laranda kono fengo bonde." So what that is trying to tell us, if you want to have people on board, you try to approach them judiciously. You try to approach them by ways of convincing them. So essentially with that, you were able to get them on board. But if that did not happen, it would be hard for you to have those said individuals like voting for you. So again, it's the mindset of the people, and the mindset goes down to their various attitudes, or the various attitudes we have from whom. And again, like when India talked about like system, saying like system has different formats relating it to politics and things of that sort. But then again, when you come to the media, Mr. Jallo was saying that like back in the days, Gambians do not have this liberty to talk or do certain things. And at some point, you had Gambians that went to study abroad and they came back, but down the line, they had not delivered to expectations due to the system. One thing that I do tell people is your integrity and your honesty is determined by yourself and not by the the system that you happen to find yourself. No matter, even if every individual in a particular system is corrupt, if you are there with your integrity, you are there with your honesty, you believe that you could do what is best of you. If you believe you are not fit in the system, the bottom line is for you to resign and do certain things down the line. We had seen in the TRRC a lot of things that happen. So with the issue of the media, I believe the system that is in place has already done enough as far as the media is concerned. Because looking at our state broadcaster, which is GRTS, has already been transformed from analog to digital. I know most of us would not watch GRTS, but then based on content in Gambian medias, I bet you all there's no media house in the Gambia that has better content than the Gambia Radio and Television Services. So all in all, and also like the final, would I say, the final point I'd give, and also my like conclusion is going to be civic responsibility. Like it's kind of ignored by most of the citizens in the Gambia. For instance, citizens fail to hold leaders to account. Or I mean, like holding our leaders accountable. Like we don't demand transparency in some of the things. For instance, if you're part of the system, if people ask you of certain things, you will not want to relay it. And at some point, like it happens even at our societal level, like the organizations we would have, being it an association executive, or being it executives of a university or something of that sort. When they are privy to some information, but then for them to relay those information to the students, it's always a problem. So that goes down to telling, even though that sometimes you have the students holding them to account and telling them about transparency, but if the said people are part of the system, they always find it difficult to be transparent on some of the things. So that goes down to our attitude and not actually the system that we would have on board at some point. And essentially, like just as I started my speech with, I said, even the best system will fail if citizens are indifferent or compliant with bad leadership. So I'd conclude to say that community engagement is key in this whole crusade. And that is to say, let us use community forums to shift cultural norms around the bribery that we have in our society, the nepotism, the tribalism. And with that, let us encourage whistleblowing and like reporting corruption at some point. So on that note, I rest my case, and I'm not sure I'll raise my hand up again. Thank you all so very much for being here. We really appreciate this whole stuff. We hope it continues, and it was really great. I've not debated for a while, so this was like an avenue for me to come on board again, to at least see if the tactics are still there or the skills are not lost. Yo, bam. Thank you. But again, well, okay, it seems Mr. Njai is on a separate meeting.
Yeah,
So the next
yeah.
on the list is actually Maud Lewis, so we can have
Yeah. Yeah, man, I just want to respond to this Samba's message. Samba said, Louis, you have mentioned a very important point. I just want to ask you one question. Can you please tell me how we change people's attitude without a system in place to change them? Samba, as I said before, the system is there. The system is there. System move for paper. What need to change is the people who are in charge of those systems or who are at the top of those systems. You know what change attitude. Low regular. Anyway, okay, that's all I wanted to say. But come, Mr. Jayanegovi, Mr. Mbo, last week we had two topics, right? I guess today we deal with the one. So, Mr. Jay is here. Today we deal with the one.
Okay,
So,
and
like, we can set another date for the. Manyo, I'm continue.
yeah,
Allow
yeah.
him to complete. Allow him to complete.
Okay, bye.
Hey, Mr. Njai, we said I guess today's topic is over. So I guess the next topic Gaimunenko organizer, maybe in 2 weeks or maybe in a week, sir. It's good, like at least Mo, if you and your executive, at least if it is every month, sir, if we can have it like 2 times or 1 time, we address issues in the Gambia that are happening right now. Like just recently, university students, policy, these are things that we should talk about because we are governments. We want to go back home and change something in the Gambia. Today, people have gained experience or people have gained knowledge from many things that people say, even though it was a debate, but at least,
Yes.
man, Fuma Togon, like the last year, I just said that attitude. But at least there's in one way or the other needs to change. So thanks for everything. Thanks for having me. Yeah, that was it. Samba, thank you very much. I'll be glad to be in the next meeting too. Thank you.
Yeah, Mbo, nan try ñu tëj léegi li nga wax dëgg la, we definitely need that and we'll continue inshallah. That's the idea.
maa war a ñëw
Okay, good.
All right, thank you so very much, everyone, and then for the beautiful contribution and everything. Definitely, that been so engaging. But like, I would like to just draw my curtail here by telling you, remind me of one thing. Like when I was in grade 10, our economic teacher just like was narrating a story, but it was very funny. What happened was like there were like three monkeys, and he will put them in a cage and put banana there. So what happened is that if one monkey touch the banana, he will come and beat all the monkeys. So it go up the time that the three monkeys that were there were used to that system that they don't even touch the banana. So at the end of the day, he will remove one and put a new one. When he put this new one, this new one is not aware of what was going on. When this new one tried to touch the banana, the others that were there will stop the new one from touching. Because what happened is that if one touch the banana, he will beat all of them. So at the end of the day, you see that they adopted that till like until at the time that he don't need to be there for them to do what is expected of them. So that's why I believe also, like, for me, I don't believe in like absolute freedom. And most especially when it comes to democracy. That's why some people will say, boy, dictator. Even when I was in Newsrat, some people call me dictator, man, no problem. Sometimes like implementing the law have to go with punishment and those kind of things. We are human beings. For example, as lamented by some of us here, like you are working with someone and you are seeing a million on your table. And you know very well that if I eat this million, nothing will come out of it. So let's forget about attitude and whatsoever. Like, provided you are well trained, you might have the integrity that look, this I don't touch it. But since that is not there, I believe then the system can ensure that people do what is expected of them. Meaning system can ensure coordination. And to ensure that what is meant for John is given to John and what is meant for Abdullah is given to Abdullah. So in that case, I believe like the people can be, people can do what is expected of them, and at the end of the day, we can move forward. Since right now, this is the attitudes, like everything, attitude is the best way. But since we are failing, but I believe even like punishment and rewards as written by Momodu can even help to shape our behavior toward things. Meaning, if someone do something wrong, punish that person. Let others learn from it. At the end of the day, you will see that there will be a positive behavior everywhere. So to make it short, I really like to thank you all for your wonderful, contribution. So I believe these two have to go together, and we really have to consider it because the country, the way it is going, is just crazy. Every day, new scandals. Every day, things are just going astray. So I believe right now also, like our government needs to like be very strict. If you are found guilty, let them punish you. Let people know that this guy was punished for this offense. At the end of the day, people will be even afraid to do it. But if I eat 1 million, at the end of the day, people saw me going out, working freely. Who am I not? Who am I now to tell another buyer that don't eat this money? They will do it, and at the end of the day, nothing will come out of it. So that's a way out. I believe like the system, you need to work with the system and try to change the attitudes towards you. Thank you so very much, everyone. And this was really a fruitful discussion, and I'm really glad to be part of it. Definitely, I jump again. Thank you.
Manima. Bo.
Nam.
I want to suggest if we have any any topic in mind that we can share with us, then
I
next
give a
Saturday we
topic
can
here.
look at that.
Next Saturday, probably,
Okay, I'm
I
just
give a
coming in
topic out.
again. That's why
I say, like, it's just a
I
suggestion also. I
suggest
did
you
not
do
say
that,
that.
I'm
please.
just
I
suggesting
suggest
like
you
any
do
of
that.
us can if you have any topic in mind, please share with us so
You
that
can
next
share with us.
Saturday, inshallah, we can look
I
into it.
wrote something here. I say like media should not be given absolute freedom. I don't know how
Maybe
we
they
can.
can also share their own topics. Then we see among
Ma,
those topics
ma,
which
your
one we
time
can
be ma
pick.
tahawal rag ma. Your time be nekun dila dega. Ma
Just
ya.
write. All of us can write
Yeah, I gave
Yeah,
one here. Maybe others can look
on
at
the
it.
bo joxe na benn
me.
and last week tamit Mr. Njie mu ngi joxe woon benn so ñaari yooyu noonu bo mu ngi wax ne next week is prom it's fine mun su nekkutee next week sax but yéen mun ngeen koo plan daal comme mu jarut muy nekk every week sax mun naa nekk every
Now
3
ngeen
weeks
gisee
or
topic bi.
every once si month bi
Louis.
ah
Now ngeen gisee
waaw
topic bi.
Yeah,
Media should
not
not be
every
no
given
week,
it's
but
very
at
absolute.
good
least
no
if we
no
have
yow
like
topic
if we
bu
have